Welcome back to the DCM Pod. Today is a very special episode. Today I am joined with our CEO, Glenn Crockett. We're really excited to have him here. Today we're going to talk about how we've grown in the year of 2025 as a team, how we've had our clients grow with us, and how the marketing world has shifted this year. And we're also going to look ahead to 2026, what it means to be the agency of choice. And I'm sure that we're going to talk about that more later, and how we plan to keep helping businesses grow through strategy, creativity, and innovation. So welcome, Glenn. Glenn, can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little about yourself.
Hi, my name is Glenn Crockett. I'm the founder, was employee number one for Dave Creek Media, spent 25 years at Axiom Corporation, and then decided it was time to leave and start Dave Creek. So it's been quite a ride.
Yep. What was that like going from Axiom, which is what did you do at Axiom?
So I was in multiple roles at Axiom, primarily on the sales side. I was in sales leadership, those kind of things. The nice thing about Axiom is it was so large. At one point, we had 6,000 employees. So you could change careers multiple times within the same company. But, one of the challenges with a big company is reorganizations, different leadership, that kind of thing. So that was a bit of a challenge, but it was very, very good to me. So it was a great experience. I still have a lot of friends that worked there and still work there.
Gotcha. Well, great. That's very awesome. I also forgot to mention today that Paul is with us here as well. He'll be fact checking. He'll be adding some special commentary, and then of course there's Clara shooting some extra footage behind us there. But that's great, and I do want to learn more about you, so we have some icebreaker questions as well.
Okay.
So when you are not leading Dave Creek Media, what's your favorite way to recharge or reset?
I know my wife will see this, so I would say spending time with her.
That's a good answer.
We've been married over 32 years, so I've learned a few things along the way.
Yeah.
But if I'm not with her, I'd like to spend time. We have an Airbnb treehouse, and I like to spend time on that property. We have a glamping tent we're working on, and then we bought a family farm that we hope our kids will join us out there. So I'm not a big hunter. I like to fish a little bit, but I'd rather be in the woods, just kind of building something, creating something. That's what I do and I bought a tractor this year, so that's kind of fun. When I'm on a tractor, I have one job: don't dive. Right? That's the goal. That's right.
I'm jealous. I love building stuff too, so that's right up my alley. To be able to have a piece of land and just build, that's like right up my alley.
Yeah, it's a blank slate, so you can, or blank canvas, whatever you want to call it, and you can do whatever you want on it.
There you go. So you have a background in sales. You also talked about that a little bit, especially at Axiom. Mm-hmm. What's something from those days that still shapes how you lead today?
Most people think about sales as someone who just will say whatever they have to do to get a deal done. Right. I like to think of sales as problem solving. So if you find a customer or a client that has a problem and you can provide a solution, part of that is the sales process. So, if I'm leading a company, basically what I'm doing is solving problems, right? Solving problems with employees, solving problems with clients, or creating things so that problems don't exist. So it's, there is a saying that every job involves sales. The salespeople are the only ones smart enough to say, "Why work two jobs?" Right? So every job is sales. So leadership is right in line with that.
Gotcha. Well, there you go. Now, if 2025 Glenn, I know you love this question. If 2025 Glenn could give 2015 Glenn one piece of advice, what would it be?
Yeah, you sent that to me, and I could not get it out of my mind. In fact, I told other people about it, and the piece of advice that I would say for 2015 is buckle up. Mm-hmm. I started going through things that have happened since 2015. I'm like, 2 years later, I would leave Axiom I was there for 25 years. I would leave then, leave Axiom, start a new job or a new company, not a new job, a new company from scratch, without a business plan, without a name, without any of that stuff. Let's just start a company. I would build a tree house. Who builds tree houses in Arkansas, right? Nobody does that. A glamping tent that I would have, my wife and I would have 3 weddings within 9 months, that we'd have 3 grandkids. 2 of those were born, 2 of the daughters were born within 5 weeks. And then I'm telling somebody that, and they were like, yeah, and COVID. And I went, oh, yeah, COVID. I forgot about COVID. That's just, you think back then, and even now, if we watch a series on television, you see the masks, you start having flashbacks. Like, I remember driving up to the hospital and getting tested where they put that, that Q-tip on a very hard wooden stick as far up your nose as they could. That's crazy stuff. So, and I could probably go on and on. Also had, unfortunately, some family members pass, all those things. But I would say, hey, Glenn, 2015, you better buckle up because it's about to get wild.
Yeah. I feel like it's the best piece of advice you give to anybody. I mean, that's 10 years. That's a lot of life. So I could have even said like, hey, what would you give 2024 Glenn a piece of advice? And I'm sure you'd been like, there's still so much that happened in a year. So buckle up is the best. Right. I was a junior in high school, and it's almost like what I would just say buckle up too. That's a great piece of advice. You
make me feel really old then. Thank you.
There you go. We just lived a lot of life.
Glenn, I've pulled up a photo of you from 2015, so I just hope you know that he was listening.
Very nice.
That's a little more hair back then. Yeah. And I may even had some dark in my beard back then.
There you go. There's still some dark in there too.
There's a little bit.
There's still some more.
And it's natural. I don't color it. So I'm not doing that.
Now, we've got a good sense of who you are. Now, let's talk about DCM and growth. If you had to sum up 2025 for Dave Creek Media in one word, what would it be and why?
I would say the one word would probably be transition. We came into 2025 with a particular operating method. And by that, I mean, some of the stuff that's happening even today didn't really exist back then. It existed, and I'm thinking specifically around AI, right? That changed a lot. So, that's changed the way that we look at things, the way that we operate. Not a day goes by that we don't talk about how can we use AI to better serve our clients, to be faster, to get more accurate information, that kind of thing. So, transitioning that, we had some team dynamics that changed during that period. We've got some industry focus that is transitioning a little bit. We were working with a lot of different industries, and what we're trying to do now is in certain areas tighten up a little bit. Do a few things, but do them really well. So I would say the transition part. That would be the word that I would think of.
Now, what moment or milestone this year made you stop and think, wow, like we're really growing as an agency? I know you said that there's a lot of things that maybe changed, but like what would you say like really that moment you said like we're growing?
It's interesting you said that because it actually happened this week. We have our daily stand-up where everybody talks about here are the priorities that I've got. And we have a lot of remote associates now. So I'm looking around the room, I'm looking on our monitor, and I can see, 5 or 6 of these people weren't here 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Some of them weren't here. One person wasn't here last week. And to be able to see that we're growing, we're getting a lot of people with experience, skill sets that are really, really high. That's the kind of thing that makes me look at it and go, I like this. This is fun. And to hear, to hear everybody laugh and joke and, I don't know. The culture part is important to me. And whether that's making sure that I'm working with Claire on a playlist, something that's good, clean, and wholesome, and sometimes a bit cheesy. That's fun. High-fiving people around the office. I mean, I don't know. I like the culture. I like having people in the office, and I like celebrating wins. And then sometimes when there are things that aren't as great, and we're there to support those people as well.
That's right. Yeah, I think one big moment I think that was very pivotal, and almost like a shift for me this year is whenever we were all in a room. I can't remember if it was all 4 of us. I remember you just saying, I don't care how we do it. All I care is that we do it, and we can say we at least tried.
That's
then if it doesn't work, we'll try to find the next thing. And so I think that was big for me to almost break the mold and test it and say, okay, that didn't work. Let's go now in this direction. And that's pretty huge. Rather than say, this is how we've done it, we're going to keep going and just We're just going to keep doing it, whether it's good or bad. Just keep doing it. I mean, that was really refreshing to hear. You know what? Just give you guys more freedom to be able to do this. As long as you can say it's working, keep doing it.
You know, there's a saying, and this is probably the second one I've had, but stumbling just helps you move forward faster, right? So you think about when you trip, boom, you shoot ahead. There is a guy that has a company in Little Rock, and I met with him, and he grew his company very, very large, very fast. And I said, so what is it why did you grow so fast? Why were you so successful? And he said, one word, pace. He said, we would try something, and if it worked, we knew quickly. If it didn't work, we knew quickly. So, but they were never against taking a risk, right? We don't, as I've gotten a little bit older, I'm a little more conservative, but I never want to be so conservative I'm afraid to take chances. Right. I built a treehouse in South Tillow, Arkansas. I mean, you know, what kind of crazy person does that? So, but I also like the fact that I don't have to have the answer. I'd rather empower you guys or the rest of the team. You're smart. You have a lot of talent. I don't have all the stuff that you guys have. If you guys can come in with an idea, let's try it. If it doesn't work, we'll stop doing it. If it works, we'll keep doing it. So I'm glad to hear you say that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thought that was very important to mention, especially for us who are trying to work on that internal marketing too. So how did our clients grow this year, and what did we do differently to help make that happen?
The difference piece, what I will say is it's the same methodology that we've talked about for 5 or 6 years. We call it connected marketing architecture, right? Everything has to work together and be connected based on the strategy. So whether we do everything from the ads to the website to, whatever the sign up form or whatever, all of that's still important, but some companies don't need all of that. They just need a component. So we still believe that everything needs to be connected or the pieces will not work. But when I think about, the success stories for our clients, we do a lot in the healthcare space. So some of the analytics that we do, we'll see that patient count has grown year over year. We can see that appointments being booked online and phone calls, those are growing. We can see foot traffic reports that show more. But the one that's most recent, and I thought it was pretty funny, we work with the local Krispy Kreme, and one of the comments was, I think it was for the Harry Potter promotion, and they said, we sold out 3 times. We had to keep making more Harry Potter, donuts or products. I have to have gluten-free, so I don't get to go in there very often. But when I could, I would go a lot. And the employees were asking, what is it that you're doing? What are you doing that's making us, that we're so busy? And a lot of it was the ads that we were running on their behalf. So, whenever clients have successes, we get excited like they get excited. We ring the bell, we high five, all of those things. So we'll continue to, if our clients are not successful, we're not going to be successful.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's another, I don't know if you're able to pull it up, Paul, but on our reel that we just made, I don't know if you saw Eat My Catfish, they made a comment on one of our posts. Someone else had made a comment, but they said, gosh, we hate high ad turnover. I can't remember the exact.
Yeah, give me a sec. I'll get it pulled up.
Yeah, but Eat My Catfish, another one of our clients, to be able to see them, to be able to brag on us publicly, that was really cool to see, and how we've been able to impact another person. It's so, we don't have a lot of food industry clients,
That's right.
but to hear 2 great stories from them. What is it they said?
Yeah, I actually hadn't seen this yet. Eat My Catfish said, "Ooh, we're so scared of high ad clicks and good customer retention."
That's right. The spooky fun where we're all all dressed up as ghosts, and it's like doing our ghost marketing all around the office. And
that's awesome.
And that was really encouraging to be able to see that. So, I mean, that's really cool to hear.
And that's a great example. Travis, the owner of Eat My Catfish, they've been a client for a long time. I remember back COVID, and I'm in the line to get catfish because they have gluten-free options. And I'm sending him a picture of all the traffic, sending him a text, hey, check this out. He said, hey, I appreciate you giving me the picture. We become, not only are they clients, but we also become, really good friends with many of our clients. So that's always fun. We want to, at the end of the day, whatever we do for them, we never want to be challenged on, did we give enough effort? Did we, we're going to do everything we can to make them successful. And doing that, that's why many of our clients refer others to us. So that's good.
Let's look at 2025 in the industry response. 2025 was a big year for change in the marketing world. There was AI tools, there was short form content, privacy updates, streaming ads. And so what shift do you think had the biggest impact on how we serve our clients?
It's clearly got to be AI, right? I mean, it is. It will not be long before we don't even talk about AI. Like we don't talk about the internet. It just is. AI just is. I was on last night looking at, what's the best route to go from here to Miramar Beach, and where should my stops be, and all those things. I was using AI for the trip. What we've done at Dave Creek is we've used it to help with research. Maybe the outline for copy. I mean, you can tell if you pay attention, you can normally tell, oh yeah, this is AI. Fortunately, we have a very smart team, very skilled team that can look at it, take some of the key points, and then put it in human words to make it the way it's supposed to be. Audiences, ad platforms, business plans, all that stuff. You can use that, but it's in the outline, right? You've got to be able to have oversight in order to make it all function properly. So AI is clearly the digital marketing space will not be the same in, next week, next month, whatever. It'll continue to change. You can use AI to build websites in 30 minutes, right? Now, are they what you would be proud to put in front of somebody? Probably not. But in some cases, that may be all you need. So using that as a tool and embracing it, not being afraid of it, has been really important to us. Efficiency, follow-up, meeting notes, action items, all those things, we can use AI to help with that.
I agree. I mean, I know that I've used it for design, not to use it like you said, I'm not using that as something I'm proud of. But if I'm sitting there, I'm just racking my brain. And I think what I used this year was using it as a tool, not doing the work, but I'm going, okay, here's all my ideas. Here's what I'm thinking. I was able to find different pictures, and it was able to really help push my mind in that direction of going, that's exactly what I was thinking. And obviously, let's just be honest, AI, it just can't pump out great stuff right off the bat, but it does help point me in the right direction of going, that's exactly what I was thinking of as a graphic designer or working with social media of some sort. And so it's funny is I listed all these things, and I feel like AI tools was like right at the center of it, and all these are maybe have accompanied it in some way.
Streaming, streaming is another. In fact, we were having a discussion today around Amazon ads. I feel like streaming will be a channel that we'll use even more. Part of it is because we hired somebody that has more experience in that area, so she knows what to look for. As a digital agency, what we're trying to do is not, it's the Wayne Gretzky saying, they ask him, why were you so successful? And he said, well, most people skate to where the puck is. I skate to where the puck is going to be. So as a digital agency, what we're trying to do is look at, this is what everybody's doing now, but what's around the corner? What are things that people haven't thought about? How can I use streaming? Well, I can use streaming, but I've got to have this giant budget. What if we could bring a solution to your small business that you could afford, gets in front of the right audience, not just mass audience, to drive traffic. So we're trying to look at how to use technology, different tools, different skill sets to anticipate what we need to be working on in the future. And AI, I guess I could ask AI, what do we need to look at in the future? I could just do that.
I'll ask.
Check on that, Paul. The best part about AI is being able to upload photographs of your grandchildren and have it converted into a coloring sheet. Now that's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool. I've done a few of those.
That's cool. Well, there was something that we were tossing around the idea of October being called Dogtober. Every single one of our posts being, I have to send you the picture, but I was like, okay, I threw your headshot into there and I said, make him look like a dog. And it looked so cool. It had your whole.
What kind of dog was it?
I think it was
Great Dane, probably, right?
No, yeah, Great Dane, absolutely.
It wasn't a Chihuahua.
No, not at all. If I will recall, I think it was a golden retriever, if I do remember.
There we go.
It was a golden retriever. It had glasses on and everything, but it had your suit jacket on and everything. Your headshot that if you go to DCM, that one that you use. There it is. There it is, right there.
That's awesome.
That's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll need that. That could be on a Christmas card.
That's it right there. And I was just like, and it again, 5-10 seconds, and it just pumped that out after I uploaded it.
You can also do. You can upload your names of your family, everybody's first name, and have it put it into a word search where you can you circle, diagonal all over. So
I love that.
Very useful ways to use AI.
Yep, that's right. Paul, did you have anything you were going to add to that earlier?
I just had a couple of examples. I was thinking of the ways that we've implemented AI this year, and just like how just the ability to save time with it, I think, is the really cool thing. And so just one example that we had is like we'll run transcripts from interviews that we do through AI, and basically you can submit the whole TXT file of the transcript and search, okay, give me all the moments that we talk about this specific topic, and it'll tell you exactly what timestamp in a 50-minute interview every time that it mentions dogs. And then I can just go straight to those moments in the interview, listen to them, and pick out exactly what I want to take from it. And I don't have to listen to the entire 50-minute interview. And so it's just little things like that where you save time. And in the same vein of, like you said, how it's an outline, but you still need that human touch, that creative mind to be able, or that human mind to be able to go in and take the information and still synthesize it and look at it and know what to do with it.
That's right. I think about client meetings. We can turn on Note Taker. It'll record all of the conversation, summarize it, and then enter it in tasks in ClickUp so that our team can start working on those without someone having to go through a notebook or whatever and trying to remember, oh, yeah, I don't remember what they said. It just saves so much time, and those kind of tasks, it's really good.
Yep. And there's some people who are scared of it. I think it just helps make us more efficient and at the end of the day outline us, but also point us in the right direction, whatever we're trying to do.
And I think that the companies that embrace it and make it known are really smart. Some will like send an email or have a chat pod and they try to act like it's a human. It's not. If you just say, hey, I'm Bob, I'm your AI chatbot, and I will answer everything that I can. If I can't, I'll have somebody help me with it. Just embrace it. Don't try to fake it like it's not there. I mean, it has changed a lot, and it will continue to change.
Yeah, I agree. Now, how did we adapt our strategy or services this year to stay ahead of those changes? Those things that we just talked about and those things that we listed. How did we adapt our strategy, our services to that?
Yeah, I mean, when we think about audiences, like if I were focusing on chiropractic, I might use AI to help determine what are the top audiences in that field. And then I can use some of our targeting tools to go get those audiences. So when we run ads, then we get a better response. So doing that, being able to do get social content that's more relevant to that area, because it'll go out and pull from different areas, especially if it's tourism related. What are important topics? You don't want to talk about water skiing in, November. That's kind of a slam dunk, but there are things that are really popular that it can go pull that information in. So just helping with, like you even said, the amount of time you would spend trying to come up with inspiration for a theme or whatever, AI can help, and then you can take it and tweak it, ask more questions, get it, and then take it and put it and humanize it before it goes out to the audience.
Right, I agree, and I think that's something big that we did with our strategy. I think we, like you said, I feel like this year we really embraced it. We're always finding new ways we can utilize and implement it into our daily systems to make our lives a little bit easier, but also deliver the best possible content we can for our clients. I feel like this year we really fully embraced AI tools and everything to point us in the new direction. I know that we've really tried to hit the ground running with streaming and all these other different services. So, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
There's yet one more saying that AI may not replace your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will probably replace your job. So, I've had conversations with parents who have children in college or at high school, and they're refusing to accept it. They want to be a purist. And I'm like, I hope they have a backup plan, because you're going to have to, unless it's some of the trade stuff, their AI is probably not going to build a house. Well, I guess it could build a house with some automation on, robotics and things like that, but they're not going to show up and fix a drained or a clogged drain or lay bricks or do electrician work or, and not that it has to be trade, but AI can't do those kind of things.
Right.
But they can replace a lot of the things that are more administrative.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we still need that human element. We still need the human part of it, of the part to partner with the AI.
Yeah, another saying. Sorry, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. AI is not going to have a conversation with Tim and connect with him personally. I can answer all your data questions if I'm a AI agent, right? But I'm not going to know how you feel. I'm not going to be able to relate to you and your family. That's never going to change, right?
Right.
You just can't. I mean, that's just not, even if some of the weird movies that are out, that's just never going to change. You still have to have that personal interaction.
I agree. And this year, we've done a lot of creative storytelling this year, especially with our blog series that you've helped write that ties marketing lessons to movies and pop culture. Why do you think that kind of content resonates so well? I say that you helped with it. You're the one who wrote it, all the blog posts, but why do you think that kind of content helps resonate so well?
If you go to our website, it talks about we help companies grow, right? We help businesses grow. That doesn't mean it has to be limited to what we offer. There are things that we can advise and examples and best practices that we can provide to companies that will help their business grow, even if we don't make any money on it. Because if we do that, we'll have a great relationship with them and it'll continue. I think about the Moneyball example. That was one of my favorites because he talked about, most baseball teams buy players. They bring in the guy that can hit 325 or whatever. But they didn't have that opportunity. So instead of doing that, they bought wins. And the way they bought wins is they bought runs. And they bought runs by buying people who could get on base. Maybe I walk a lot, I get hit with pitches, whatever. Most organizations focus on the wrong things. So if you put that in the context of a business, I need more customers. Well, how do I get more customers? Well, I need more traffic to my website. Well, how do I get more traffic to my website? Well, I run targeted ads. I do those kind of things. So instead of focusing on the end, we should be focusing on the other area. And Moneyball was a great example of that. Right. I've used that a lot, even since we published the blog. Yeah. That was there are a lot of really good ones. Yeah. But if we can help a business grow, whether they pay us anything or not, to me, that's a win.
Yeah. You've done 50 states in 50 days.
Yeah, that was awesome. Did you see that series?
I did. Yeah, I saw you because you and Stephanie kept talking about it all the time. You guys got to watch this show. And then one day with my wife, I was like, they keep talking about this at work. And I loved it. We didn't watch the whole show, but we did watch first 2 or 3 episodes. Yeah. And it was very, very interesting. That was really cool.
It was a mastermind in marketing, right? I mean, they were like, I don't know if they intended, but they had Gates to be a sponsor to get a shout out. And so now, I'm getting a text from one of my sons. It's like, hey, you should donate and have them mention the treehouse. I'm like, well, the treehouse is almost all booked up anyway, so I probably wouldn't get the benefit out of it. But if we'd had 5 or 6 properties, probably would have. And companies started figuring that out. And those higher donations got higher and higher. And it would be, hey, we're so excited about you and your trip and what you're doing for St. Jude Hospital. And by the way, if you need help with this, go to this website and blah, blah, blah. And, I'm sure the traffic was crazy on it.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Yeah, I love that one too.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we did Steve Jobs, the founder. And there's one that I'm missing.
Wall Street.
And
Wall Street was a great one because if you've ever watched the movie, and I've seen it probably 20 times, it was all about greed. And so the post that we did was not about greed. It was about doing things the right way. So it almost took it as, here's what not to do, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is what they did. It didn't work out. Don't do that. Right. So that was another good one. So we want to this year continue with that. And we've got an internal marketing team now that's going to come up with ideas. And I don't want to give anything away, but there could be something about Barbie or Legos. You never know what might come out. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I mean, it could be movies, music. There's so many different ways that we're able to pull, like you said, things that don't work. Here's why it didn't work. Don't do this. In other ways, we're like, this is such a great example of how to market well, like the 50 states of 50 days. Still think that that's one of the coolest marketing strategies that I've seen put into practice and so fast as well.
And that guy was 22 or something. I mean, really, really young.
Yeah. Really young. Him and his wife, right?
Yes.
Newly
married, yes.
Newly married.
And he also had a candy brand, Joyride. He should be getting paid for this. Mentioning stuff on it. So.
I know. That's right. Paul, did you have anything to add to any of those questions or anything like that? You have the headphones down, so I didn't know if you were going to talk.
my first note, I have notes up, and the first thing I wrote was, if Paul takes his headphones off, he has something to say.
I knew it. I know it out of the corner of my eye. I saw him go like this.
That.
Yeah, that's right.
I did, but it's okay. You'll keep going.
Oh, okay.
It was
all
like
right. I'm going to try to pay
jokes,
attention to that more. Okay.
but I appreciate that.
But all to say, shameless plug, we have some really cool blogs about some of those great movies that have some great business strategies to take away, things that you should not do, things that you should do. And so I would definitely recommend reading those.
I remembered. I was going to say, one of the reasons that we're even sitting down and having this conversation was part of the efforts to create top of funnel leads. And when Tim and I and Claire sat down and talked about DCM socials and how we wanted to improve it and how can we create top of funnel leads with social media, which sometimes is a tough thing to do. And the answer that we came to was, we just need to talk about marketing more. And we need to position ourselves as the professionals and share the knowledge that we have. And what better way to do that than sit down and talk about marketing?
That's right.
That's right.
That's a great example, because we had the discussion, how do we get more customers? And you could do a lot of stuff, but really to get customers, you need to have proposals out. To have proposals out, you need to have more discovery meetings. To have more discovery meetings, you need to have more prospects. And for more prospects, you need to have more top of funnel leads, right? So it's the whole funnel. So if we focus on that, it'll create the outcome in the bottom that we want at the bottom of the funnel if we do it properly. But if we want more customers, we just need more top of funnel leads. So oftentimes we focus on the wrong thing. We'll talk to a client and they'll say, I need a new website. What do you need a new website for? Well, because I need more traffic. Why do you need more traffic? Well, because I need more, form fills or whatever. Okay, why do you need those? Because that creates patient volume. Why do you need more patients? Because it's revenue, and it all comes back to revenue and oftentimes profit. So if you can ask enough questions, peel back the onion to get to what's the real thing that you're trying to get to, maybe a new website's not the solution. Maybe it's a better ad strategy. Maybe your website's fine, but it's oftentimes we focus on the wrong thing.
Okay. Now that we've talked about 2025, I do want to take some time to look ahead to 2026. Now, we talked about this earlier, but when you talk about the agency of choice, what does that mean to you, and how will that show up for our clients in 2026? So can you not only tell us what that means to you, can you also just tell us about the agency of choice? Like, why is that important? I mean,
well, there is a Bible reference that without vision the people perish, right? So if you don't know where you're going or have a desire to a goal to get someplace, then a lot of times you just don't really, you're not interested. It's like, why bother? I think about Tacos for Life. If you're in this market, Tacos for Life, and their goal is to end childhood hunger. Well, when I go buy tacos, I might go for that, but if it tastes really good, I'll keep coming back. And at the same time, I'm helping them achieve their vision. In fact, a good friend of mine, one of the founders, him and his wife, Austin Samuelson, he said his email tagline is until it's zero, right? No more world hunger. We're a marketing agency, right? We're not going to stop world hunger world peace, that's probably not us. But if we could be the agency of choice and our team feels like they're a part of that vision, then they can get excited about that, right? This podcast that you're doing, I didn't ask you to do this. Mm-hmm. This is something you guys came up with on your own, right? And it's because you want to do something special to help us get more clients that we can serve better, those kind of things. So, and I would say if we need more top of funnel leads, but if half or more than half of our customers, new customers next year, came from referrals from existing customers, man, I would say we're absolutely agency of choice if we're getting most of our clients there. But I don't want to stop at the client side, right?
Right.
Part of the vision is also for our team members. We want to be the agency of choice. And so what that means is it may not be that, they're the highest or highest paid or whatever, but they have an opportunity to come in and learn things that at some point, if they ever leave, and that's probably inevitable, that they're going to go someplace, that they would leave here better than they were when they came. That they would tell their friends, hey, if we've got an opening at Dave Creek, you need to jump on it, right? That it's an environment that is encouraging, that gives opportunities, that lets people use their creative talents and their abilities to create something special, whether that's internal marketing or external marketing. So the client piece is really important, but whatever the technology is, AI, whatever's next, that kind of thing, if you don't have the right people, you're going to have limited success. So it's important for me and for our leadership team that we have a team that is excited about being here. They're part of the vision and they know how they're contributing.
Now, what trends or opportunities do you think small and mid-sized businesses need to prepare for in 2026?
A lot of it depends on what space you're in. Mm-hmm. But I would challenge them, read the Moneyball blog, and are you focusing on the right thing, right? I mean, am I focusing on this, but really I should be focusing on something else? We talk about ICP, ideal client profile. Who am I going after? Who's my target? Do I have that dialed in? And so many companies we talk to, and they said that, everybody can buy our product. They can, but where should you spend your focus, your marketing dollars, those kind of things? And that's usually tighter. And then what is your unique value proposition? How are you different? We're probably going to do something on, maybe it's a summary of a book called Purple Cow that is not the restaurant. Mm-hmm. And the concept is if I left here and I drove in any direction in Arkansas, within about 15 minutes, I'll see a pasture. And out in that pasture will be cows. Brown cows, black cows, white cows, spotted cows. But if there were a purple cow standing in the pasture, what would you do? You grab the phone, take a picture. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna call people. I'm gonna tell them all about it. Imagine if your business was like that purple cow. What is the purple cow of your business? Why would everybody tell everybody else about it? So they should focus on who their ideal customer profile is. How are they unique? And if they don't have it, they need to figure that out. And then they need to embrace technology because their competitors are, whether that's AI or just technology in general, they need to do that.
Yep, I agree. There definitely needs to be an embrace. But I think definitely finding your purple cow, that's a good, because they're going to drive past and they're going to think, okay, that's just yet another hospital. That's yet another, trying to think of other kind of names. But some sort of industry and financial business within the financial industry. That's just another bank. That's just another
school, another chiropractor.
That's right. That's just the example. But to stop and go, that's different. Whether that is in the physical driving by, like we're talking about, or if that is as they're searching for something and they're popping up and that pops up and makes them stop scrolling. I think that's the goal too, is just to stop scrolling and almost pause for a second. We're constantly scrolling. We notice the things that we're scrolling past, even though we're scrolling fast. But the one that will make you stop for a few seconds and kind of ponder and stop to go, okay, I think I'm really interested in this.
Yeah.
Something that hooks you.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Chick-fil-A is a great example. Yep. Apple, probably one of the best. They figured out something that everybody would talk about, and not something that's just a novelty, but something that's like, they are the nicest people when I go through Chick-fil-A, and the food's good. it's not bad food, but there are other places to get better food. It's just the service is so good. And, anything Apple does, most people are paying attention because it's almost always something special.
Right.
So, yeah, figure out your purple cow. We need to do a blog post on that.
Figure out your purple cow.
Yeah, we need to be careful not to cross any copyright
Right.
lines. But yeah, that would be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Last question. If we're sitting down this time next year, what do you hope that we'll be celebrating?
The two things came to mind. Number one, that the bulk of our new customers came from referrals from our other customers or clients, right? People sending them our way. That would be one of the metrics. And then the second metric would be when we do our end of year associate satisfaction survey, where we send it to all of the team and say, rank us how you feel in these different areas. It would be the highest score we've ever had, right? That would be so exciting that it would be the highest score. And the scores are never bad, but they can always be better. We've never had a perfect score. We'll never have a perfect score.
Right.
But man, I would love for it to be as high as it's ever been.
I know I hate to backtrack a little bit, but I feel like wasn't able to talk a lot about it. But the agency of choice question, especially as an employee, what that means to me. I mean, you're talking about the satisfaction survey that we do as employees and once every 6 months. And I still think about the question of what does the agency of choice mean to you? And I think to build upon that even more to where, like we talked about, that's not just for clients, but it's also for employees. We want this to be a place that people just want to work at. And I think that's one thing I'd love to also help celebrate in is this is a place that people in the year of 2026 were like, whenever I graduate college, that's where I want to work at as a Dave Creek Media. I want to come in as an intern. I want to be a graphic design specialist. I want to be a content specialist or account executive. I don't know what exactly they would want to be, but all I know is that I would love to work at the place that everybody at UCA, Hendrix, CBC, you name it, that this is where they want to be once they graduate.
That's right. And, and I try not to be a prideful person, but when I'm out, somebody says, I talked to somebody that love working for you guys. I mean, they said it's the best place ever. And, and we want it to be genuine. We don't want it to be, hey, we're doing this so you'll like us. We want it to be, hey, we're going to have tough days, right?
Right.
We're going to have challenging. We're going to have to work late. We're going to have to do a video shoot on Saturday, to take up the whole day, especially when your favorite team is playing an important game. We do some of that. But but it's but we can celebrate together. We can win together because if the business does really well, then the employees are going to do really well. So
That's right. Paul, your headphones are down.
One of I wrote this when I was preparing for my quarterly review for Q3. Is that what we just had? Yeah. And the question again was, what does being the agency of choice mean to you as an employee, and how can you contribute to achieving this vision for our clients? And I said, being the agency of choice means creating win-win situations for ourselves and our clients. Our ability to offer a wide range of highly skilled marketing offerings creates the connected marketing architecture that is proposed in our UVP. And then for me, my answer was continue producing high quality creative video and photo work for the delivery team to utilize for our clients' marketing. And you caught my attention when you talked about UVP, because I heard that term from you probably 2 months ago at this point, and it has been heavily incorporated in my vocabulary ever since. As it's just something I really like asking people when I talk to them about their businesses, and trying to define that UVP, I think is really important. Because it can narrow what you need to be focusing on, and for your business, and like what's really important.
Right. Thanks, Paul. And that's the healthcare company that we did the video shoot in Northwest Arkansas. What they do is very unique, and listening to some of their patients talk about how incredible it is, the service they provide, and the fact that they go from hospital to hospital in a Tesla is kind of cool. So, you can have a UVP and also be cool at the same time. So
That is a wrap on 2025. The next time you see us will be in January of 2026. So, Glenn, I just do want to say thank you for sharing your vision. Thank you for sharing your heart. You're also many quotes, which I love those. The more quotes, the more sayings, the better, in my opinion. And it's also been a fun part to play in the journey of DCM this year, I will say, for myself. And I will say that we're just getting started, and here's to more growth. Here's to more creativity and more stories worth telling in 2026. So from all of us at Dave Creek Media, thank you so much for listening, and we'll